Hi calling friends and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is the completed pages video of the last quarter, so April, May and June. And yeah, this is the result. And before we get started, I actually have to tell you a little bit about it, because I was in a culling slump in May. And now this doesn't look too bad, but in May, at the end of May, I had just colored 4 images. 4 images in 2 months. So that was not pretty good, but I managed to catch up a little bit, as you can see, in June. So that's good. And yeah, I think now we can get started. Now, I think should we talk a little bit about the culling slumps in another video, because I have the feeling that at the moment, quite a few of us colorists are going through that. I don't know why, but yeah, maybe in a color chat or something, let me know if there is some interest. However, now let's get started. And the first page that I'm going to show you is Fairy and Fantasy 3. This book is by Karron. And you know, this is one of the 10 books that I want to finish. And yeah, here's the image that I have colored. And this was a whip, so I had just to finish it. And I actually filmed the video on this image here for the background, because there was a question how I did this shiny background stuff on another image. So yeah, I have filmed it but not edited as usual. So hopefully I will get this done soon. And yeah, so this was my first page that I had finished in April. And I'm going to show you those images in order this time, because I think there is not one book that I have colored 2 images in, so it's perfect to just yeah, show you everything in order. And yeah, let me just quickly think, is there anything special to tell you about this image here? The background is done with distress inks, because this is just one of the mediums that I really like to use in those yeah, books with the thinner paper. The background, as I said, was done with a stencil and some shiny medium. And here I have used just some Clearo watercolor, shiny watercolor pans, and some glitter watercolor here as well. So, okay, this was the first image by Karron. And then the second image that I finished in April was from Matchstick Mouse, a springtime coloring book by Morgan O'Brien. And it was a friend that told me, you must have a Matchstick Mouse book, because it's so much fun to color in them, because those images are really cute and actually, yeah, quite doable, relaxing, just fun. You can get creative. I really love them. I have a video here on this image how I outline with the Clearo paints or fine deck paints, so with all those shimmery watercolors with a fine brush. And I will link it up in the corner just in case you are interested and have missed it. And I also got the request to film a color along from one of these books. I own 3 of them, so this is something that I plan to do in the 3rd quarter now, because due to my coloring slump, yeah, it was not possible. Also, I have to finish another color along that I'm just about to finish filming on a Karron page. So right after that, I think I will tackle the Matchstick Mouse project, and this should be a little bit quicker. It still took me like 3 hours maybe to finish this page here, which you might think sounds like a lot, because I think most people can do it in 1 hour. Yeah, but I just played with different mediums, so so the background is done with Neocolor 2, for example. This I wanted to have it like kind of like a sunsetty background, and then I had to base layered everything with Neocolor 2 to help me to bring in this color scheme of, I wanted to try to color some of those leaves a little bit, if they were in the shadow, you know, so with those violets and those blues here in the corner. And it was easier for me to decide how and where to do it with the base layering. So that's why I did that. And of course, since I base layered it and then go over with pencil, of course it took me a little bit more time. The little mouse is base layered with alcohol markers, as you can see here. Also the neocolors have bled through a little bit because the paper is just very thin. So, but as you can see, there is some warping, and you can especially see it here. Because of the water mediums I have used, there is some warping. But to be honest, I don't care in these books here. I don't care, and I think it's not too bad. It's okay, isn't it? And I just enjoyed the process. So, yeah, this is my little mouse. So let me try to show you these outlining effects that I did on here. And this is actually all special effects, like I like to call it, like finishing touches that I added to this image. I like to have a little bit of shine on each of my pages. So now let's take a look at the next piece. So the next page that I have colored was a PDF page, and this is my very first Renata Berta image that I have colored. So I tried out this new artist here to see how much I like to color it, and I have to say that this was a lot of fun. This is also actually like a smaller image. As you can see, we have still quite a bit of space up and down. It's quite centered, so this could perfectly fit on a square book actually. And I was just in the mood to color those cherry blossoms here. Those I have colored with my Pablo pencils again, because I think the Pablos just have the perfect color combination to color these flowers with a very light pink, the granite rose in them. I love them. Then inspired by my Matchstick mouse page, I also played with my Neocolor 2 here. Also did kind of some glowy effect, which I thought looked just very nice. I just enjoyed it to play with them. And then here the moon is just some shiny watercolor paint. I think it was a Clearo set that I used here. And so the rest is done with pencils, I guess. I tried to go over here a little bit with the Neocolors to have the effect of the blossoms a little bit. I added a little bit of shine here to those little branches. And this little cute rabbit here. So, this was my very first Renata Berta image. I enjoyed it quite a bit, really loved it. And I think I will color more from this artist. Also the hair was a lot of fun. It looks a little bit different. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So now we come to May, and as I mentioned, May was the month in which I had my coloring slump, and at least I managed to finish this image here. So because of course I wanted to try to color a little bit, and I thought, okay, hopping between images is not a good idea, so I will just stick to this image, and maybe if it's just for 10 minutes, but I will just sit down and color a little bit on this image, and this way at least I got this one image finished in May. So otherwise I think I wouldn't haven't finished anything. So that's something. So here in the background I have used ink tints, and then I went over with the Mod Podge glitter palettes. So that is this very beautiful shimmery glittery stuff here in the background. I thought this looks very nice. I really like it, and I think this is my favorite Mod Podge glitter glue. It's a glitter glue actually. And then I have colored her dress with the Albrecht Dürer pencils. Also the hair was colored with Albrecht Dürer pencils, the wings. I was very much inspired by Shell's coloring journey, because this is her favorite set of pencils. and they are a little bit smoother than the polychromos. Yeah, I think I still enjoy my polychromos a bit more because I don't have to be careful when using water mediums, but still it was a lot of fun, and yeah, at least I played with my Albrecht Dürer a little bit. I also tried to use them wet. So first I wanted to use a wet layer of Albrecht Dürer, but I don't know, I struggle to use them in a wet way. It always looks very strange. I watched a beautiful video by Shal in which she actually explains how to do it, but so far I didn't manage. So I have to practice this a lot more, and hopefully at some point I will learn and know how to use them best. Maybe I put down not enough pigment, maybe it was too much pigment. I don't know what was the mistake so far, but I will find out at some point, I think. So this page, by the way, I didn't mention, this is Derya Cakirsoy, and it is called Rozi, or Rozi. This was one of her Patreon images, I believe. I'm a Patreon of hers, and I love it. And I'm very curious which will be the new image for July, actually. So this is Rozi, or Rozi, I don't know. And yeah, hope you enjoy this very cute little Alfia, or fairy. It's a fairy. Okay, so you can see I continued to work in a Derya book. This is Derya Cakirsoy, Fantasy and Fairy Cuties. This is her calling book number 8. This is also one of the books that I want to finish at some point, hopefully. And yeah, I think Derya is an artist that I like to color when I'm not in the mood, because it's so cute. I really love her cute style. She also has a more realistic style, but I'm totally in for her cute style. And it always brings me a good mood, Oh, okay. And so I finished this, or decided to finish this image here, which I had started. This was actually the very first page that I started this year. So in January, the very beginning of 2023, I decided that I wanted to color this image here, and I started her, and then I never finished her. And in June, I decided that it's time, so at the beginning of June I did this, that it's time to finally finish her. And yeah, that I did. And I had a lot of fun playing with this. I had a lot of fun with this color scheme here. You can see it's all kind of bluish violet colors. And I really enjoyed it. So then with the background, I also tried to be kind of yeah, creative. Like I used distress inks. I also distressed, or I used the distress look, so to speak, a little bit by splattering some water on it. I also used some stencils in the background, which you can maybe see here and there. And then I also added this is Stickles glitter gel. I just was thinking what was the right name for it. It's not the Stickles glue, but it's the Stickles gel, so which you cannot apply with a fine applicator. I applied it with a palette knife, but I have to say, actually, the way that I did it, like just in certain spots, I think that is the way that I will continue to use this medium for backgrounds. I think that I really like the effect, like how it merges in with the background. I think that I really like it. And this is also the only glittery effect that I have on this image. So there's no glitter on her, because I thought she just looks so cute as she is, and I think that's just enough. So, and you know, in June I decided less is more. So you know, I have to come back a little bit and don't overdo it with the glitter stuff. So maybe stick to one medium, and that will be good. And I decided to use the Stickles gel, and so that was enough, I think. and yeah, she's very cute. So as I was yeah, so far back with my images, this Derya image was only the fifth image that I colored, so in June, and I was already thinking about my completed pages for the quarter. And then I decided, okay, let's color something that is started. And I worked in the Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn. You know that I'm in a body coloring group with a group of wonderful ladies. I think we're only ladies at this point, if I'm right. And we decided in June to make it a catch-up month, so that was very good. Yeah, I decided I wanted to catch up on one of my February images, because February was a month where I had to pick the images and I haven't even managed to finish them. So I decided I will work on this one because I thought that I could finish this one fairly quick, and I wanted to catch up with some pages, you know. So yeah, I think this one is called Dali or so. Not quite sure. However, the face was done, so I had to color only all the hair, and with all the hair done, almost the whole image was done. So then only the smaller details. This yeah, this dragonfly, I have used one of the new glittery mediums that I had, just to see what it does. And it gives just some shine, extreme shine, and I think it's good for wings. I shouldn't have used it on the dragonfly itself. Looked better when it was only on the wings and not on the dragonfly. But yeah, you live and learn, and yeah, coloring is all about trying out new things and having some fun. Also, I don't know if you can see it because this takes away obviously from all the other things, but I added a little bit of stickles here to those raindrops. And that is what I mean, you know, if you have one thing, it will take away from the other stuff. So the glitter on the rain would come out much more effectively when this wouldn't take away from it. So, but yeah, this is something that I want to do now a little bit more, like just use less. Less is more. So yeah, however, unfortunately this is the only page that I catched up in June on this book project. This is also one of my 10 books to finish, as you know, and yeah, but I'm working on it. So, and in June I only worked on whips. So whole June I dedicated to finish some whips that I had going, some from last year, some started this year, and this way make sure to finish as much as I could to catch up. And also it was a lot of fun in June to just finish pages, because usually you know that I really love to start new pages, but in June it was a lot of fun for me to finish actually pages and see them finished and see them done. And yeah, I really enjoyed it to just finish off some of my pages. I would have loved to finish some more, of course, because I have so many still. Yeah, but I think in July I will try to make it like 50-50, so finish a page and then start a new page. Try to finish that started page as well, of course. But yeah. So this image is by Raen Art. You know, since war going on, I think she must be from Russia, obviously. We cannot buy actually, or most probably you can buy them on Busti, but not for me. Yeah, this, however, was a Patreon image by her, because I was a Patreon from her, because I also love her images. She's very like fantasy driven. yeah, like cute, beautiful ladies in a fantasy theme or fantasy styled, and I really liked it. So this page was also not a whole lot to do, and so I decided it has to be finished. I tried the colors to be a little bit more muted theme. So as you can see, for example, the dress is kind of like a grayish violet. Also the wings more like a greenish gray. And the hair, I tried to make or to color a very light, not like grey, more like a silvery kind of hair color. So, which I think actually looks quite nice. On the background, I have used soft pastels, which I haven't used for a while actually. And I think, yeah, I yeah, and I think that I really like soft pastels again. I thought lately that yeah, soft pastels were maybe a little bit boring, but in the end I think we can really do stunning backgrounds with them, so I enjoy to work with them now in June. And here I also added just some shiny paste with a stencil, so I played also much more with my stencils. This background, for example, as I said, it's done with soft pastels. Wanted to have like a papery, old paper looking structure, and then I went over with a stencil and distress inks for do all the brownish splatters here. And then I went back in with another stencil and a paste to give this shiny effect here. And this is just Clearo shiny watercolors, or you can take any shiny watercolors. This was just a gold color, so we have this in almost every set basically. I also outlined her with shiny watercolors a bit. I wanted to try some other colors. This was from the Galaxy set, for example, like this silvery tone. This was more kind of like a black, I thought, but now it looks more like a bluish, very dark bluish tone. Very nice actually. So yeah, so this was this one by Raen Art. So the next image that I finished was from the next image that I finished was from Hello Country Spring by Joshua Dunbar. You know, this is another artist that I very like and enjoy, and I had actually started this image here last year in summertime actually, and I colored this mainly with Inktense pencils. So yeah, all the background, like all the trees, this pathway, this grass here, the sky, everything was colored with Inktense. And you see in those Amazon printed books, you can use them. The paper has warped tinsy bit, really just a tinsy bit. It's hardly visible, I would say. And it was a lot of fun, and it speeds up the process, obviously. The colors are vibrant, so I can recommend to try it out, to use it. Yeah, if you want me to do a video using Inktense in Amazon printed books, let me know. We can maybe find an image to color. And I think especially those landscape pages are just appropriate for Inktense, or I like to use them for landscape. So yeah, and then the details I have actually colored with pencils. So the fence, for example, or the flowers here, these poppies, those tulips, and also the cherry blossoms and the clouds. So all the details I have done with pencils actually. And I think this is the perfect combination, how to use it, and I like to combine supplies and not only stick to one supply or to one pencil brand. I like to combine what I have, and this way get the most out of it and the most fun for me. Yeah, and for the sky, if you're asking yourself how I managed to get it kind of smooth with the Inktense, on the sky I went actually over with a pencil to smooth it out, because with the Inktense on larger areas. Mostly I think it's a little bit textured, or splodgy is not the right word. It's a little bit textured, I would say. And it's good here on the pathway and the grass. It's all fine, but when you want to have a nice gradient, then maybe it's not so nice. But what I like to do then is just go over with a pencil, and it's not a whole lot to do there. No layering, not even very much blending. You just go over and smooth it out, and it's very relaxing, I think. It's almost like coloring with markers, so I enjoyed it quite a bit. So this is my very first image from this Hello Country Spring, and I enjoyed it so much, and I think I want to do more landscape images actually. So yeah, this was Hello Country Spring by Joshua Dunbar. So then I also finally finished this image by Selina Fenech, and I will blend in the book's name, because of course I don't know it at the minute of time where I'm filming this video here. Because I have this book only as a PDF book. I like to buy Selina's books in PDF because they are, as you can see, quite detailed, and so I prefer to color them on my own paper. The first books of her, I have them yeah, in books, and I really dislike the paper in these, so from that point on I actually decided that I buy her books in a PDF way, or as a PDF book, and just print them, and this way be able to use the paper that I like. And yeah, this page here, this is by the way called Raven Heart, because there is a raven. I have colored, for example, mainly with alcohol markers, and I shaded on all those wings are done with alcohol markers, and I didn't went over with pencils. So all this transition is done with the alcohol markers, and that was actually what I wanted to try, you know, because usually I use the markers as a base, and that's pretty easy of course, but I wanted to learn to yeah, to do like shading with them also. And I actually think that the result is quite nice, and I didn't want it to go over. The dress also was done with the markers the same way, but it wasn't as fine as those wings here, or those feathers. So on the dress I decided to go over with pencil. But the thing is, when I go over with pencil, I always have to go over completely. So I cannot only just add a little bit of shading then, because it's visible. I don't know how to blend it out then, so then I have to go over completely with pencils, and then you don't see a whole lot of the mark. I mean, it plays in, of course, but yeah. However, this raven here, I don't know if you can remember, and if I find an image we have shown it with only the marker base, I had used a very, maybe you can see on the back, very dark and vivid, bright blue, which I typically don't do. For raven, I usually take like a grayish blue, which is the perfect base color for raven. But here, by accident, because I hadn't tried out the color, hadn't swatched it, just took it from the cap. I thought, okay, this could be the right color. I call it in, and oh no, what have I done? It was this bright blue raven suddenly, and but I think that I managed to actually color, or yeah, to give him the right color in the end. Let's take a close up to this little raven guy here. Yeah, so it doesn't matter if you take a very dark and bright color, depending on, yeah, what you're coloring. But this raven, I went in with my light blue colors, and then with dark black and some grays, and this covers it up just, yeah, very well. So I have really just a teensy bit of glitter here on her collar thing, and here just a little bit, and a little bit up here, and that's all. That's all yeah, finishing touches that I added, or that's all the glitter that I've added. I tried to outline her, so I was inspired by Sapphire colors, and she uses a lot of outlining in her images, and I like how it looks. So I wanted to try that on this image too, and I just outlined her completely so that she stands out a little bit more from the background. The background I have done with Neocolor too. As you can see, the transition is not so perfect this time, but it was okay for me. I couldn't bother with it, so it was okay. And yeah, so that's Selina Fenech's page. And it was the first image that I have colored from this PDF book. So then the next image that I've colored was this whip by Enys Guerrero. I had started it last year throughout the autumn time, Halloween season, because Enys Guerrero is a little bit gothic, and yeah, I thought it would fit in this season. And on this one, yeah, I didn't use that many pencils actually. So the background was done with, I think, Neocolors, but diluted with water quite a bit, so I used it on a palette and took it from there, watered it down quite a bit so that there is actually just really a very light hint of this bluish color, and then I added a little bit more blue around her, and I also went in with, I think it was a Rubin set, and added some of those shiny watercolors around her, which I have to say I really like the effect that this provides and gives, and I think I will play with this effect in future on future images as well, because yeah, I have to say I really like it. I really like how this looks. And on this dress here I added a lot of stickles. I haven't done this for a while. In my beginning I actually did this more often, that I just outlined with stickles. And yeah, Enys Guerrero is one of those illustrators that I like to do that actually. The dress was colored with ink tint, and I didn't went over with pencils, so all the dress is done with ink tint, but I thought this just looks, it has this little bit of textured look, and I thought it looks quite nice and okay. Then here on those butterflies and on the moon actually, I've used a stencil paste by oh my gosh, I will blend it in, I can't remember. I used this stencil paste. It wasn't easy to apply it actually, because I tried to do it with a brush, but yeah, that wasn't as easy. But again, I do like the effect that this gives, because it's very reflective and shiny, and I like it. So on the girl itself, haven't used so much effects, except for the stickles here on her dress. But yeah, so I have to say this one is one of my favorite images this month, I think, or this quarter, I must say. Even though this one is colored in June and reflecting, I colored enough pages to have a video on its own in June actually, because most of the pages were actually finished in June. Yeah, so anyway, this one is one that I really enjoyed. I had a lot of fun, and I was very happy when I finished it. So then I went back to a whip that I have in a Fairy Lives in Every Garden, and on this image here I actually have a video on how to use your alcohol markers as a base and then color over them. So on which I just explained a little bit what I've learned throughout my time using them. And yeah, so I wanted to finish this image here, and that is what I did basically. So yeah, so there's not a whole lot to say about it. I just marker based everything. The reason why I like to use alcohol markers is that it's very nice for mapping out your colors. So I knew that I wanted to have those flowers here not all in the same color. I wanted them to be colorful. So I planned out my colors with those markers, and that made it a lot easier for me. And then just going in with pencils again, giving some shading, and that was actually quite nice. I knew that I wanted to have soft wings here, and I didn't want to take away from her, so the use of shine and sparkle is very limited on this one. I have a little bit of stickles here on the dress, and that's almost all actually. And then just a little bit here on this title here, the title of the book, which I pretty much enjoyed. So this was also done with marker base, of course, and then colored with polychromos. And I have to say that I pretty much enjoyed the polychromos here on this paper, at least on this bit here. Yeah, I decided that next time I really have to try the polychromos more in this book, because I have a feeling that this paper is very smooth and, I don't know, a little bit not so easy to tackle. The background I've colored with Neo Color 2. In June I was really enjoying the Neo colors and soft pastels. And so I did some shapes with the greens so that it looks a little bit like a bushes. That is some technique that I really like to do with the Neo colors, just going in dapping and then creating this texture, and this way it really looks like a bush. And it really blends in nicely with the rest of the background, I think. Then here those sun rays are actually, I thought I could do them with pencils, but yeah, I didn't get it down on the Neo color very bright, so to speak. So the solution for that was actually going in with a white Neo color, with a dry white Neo color over everything when it was dried, and just yeah, coloring in those rays here actually. And you will notice that I have colored another image with sun rays, so but with different medium. Yeah, and I put in a little bit of sparkle here on those little bees wings actually. This is this very fine glitter and sparkle from those like Wink of Stella, this type of medium. So I'm actually very happy that I have added another page to this beautiful book here, and I hope to do more in it. I really love this book. I love Destiny Lauritsen's yeah, drawing style. She is one of the artists that I really enjoy to yeah, to color in. And yeah, let's take a look at the next image. So we are almost through, and now comes actually yeah, a page that I really enjoyed to color, and it was a body coloring with the lovely Crista Luna. And I will put my page here to the side and blend in her version here, so that you can see both our versions. And this was so much fun because it was a lot of fun to talk a little bit about. So after we had colored it but not shared it, we started to talk a little bit about difficulties that we had, and we both had a little bit of difficulty to find out how this dress was meant to look actually. So like if it was meant to color, yeah, you can see how she did it, how I solved it. I think I solved it a little bit differently, because I thought this scarf must come down here somewhere, and it wasn't quite sure yeah, where it came, and most probably it wasn't meant like this, but I'm okay with my solution. I think it's okay. It looks okay and not too bad, I think. And yeah, we were surprised that we had so totally different color schemes actually. She went more for a fantasy type of hair, for example. And yeah, I decided to go a little bit more, even more a realistic color, even though this is an elf or fairy, I don't know. This image is called Springbringer. It is by Karron, if I haven't mentioned it, of course, who could draw those stunning images when it was not Karron, I don't know. And this was the last Patreon image that she actually yeah, shared with her Patreons. It's a pity, but yeah, maybe she will come back at some point, hopefully. However, we decided to do it as a tribute, and because it was the last Patreon image, we both had it, and that's the reason why we decided to do it. And yeah, so my plan was actually, and I don't know if it's visible to you, I wanted to have this side a little bit lighter and this one more in shadow. So I think on the hair it's most visible, like this is a little bit lighter, while this I call it a little bit more dark. And same goes on the face. So I tried to have this side a little bit more in shadow. I tried to do it actually on everything, but I think on the clothing it's not coming through as much. But this was my intention actually, what I wanted to practice, because the sun is coming from this direction, and that was my thought process on this one. And yeah, you can see that I have added just a little bit of shiny watercolor here on this side of her hair, which is hit directly by the sun. And yeah, and a little bit of stickles here in the center of those flowers. And then a little bit of glitter on the sun rays, but it's almost not visible because it was this Wing of Stella type of glitter, so very fine water brush with glitter in it. And the idea with the glitter I got from Crista, actually. She had mentioned it before I had seen her image, and I just I borrowed it, you know, because I thought it was really cool idea. So then the background, I have done it with soft pastels. So as I said, I really found my way back to the soft pastels and have used them a bit. And then for the sun rays, I just use the white soft pastel, making this look like it's shiny a little bit. The background was a little bit of a struggle for me actually. Didn't quite know how to do it. But in the end, I think I'm quite happy with it and satisfied with it. It looks okay, it looks good, I think. I like it, I really like it actually. I have to say, I think this is my absolute favorite colored image from this month. So, and I want to thank you, Crista. This was really stunning to color this image, and I think if it wasn't for our body coloring, I wouldn't have colored this one so soon, because yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm always hesitant when it comes to animals. I tried to give this animal a little bit of a furry texture, but not too much. Just with the last layer, actually, I went in and put some strokes. With the first layers, I just wanted to get the volume, the shading correct, and then just the last layer, adding some strokes for a hairy look. So, but I think if it wasn't for our body coloring, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't have colored this image here, and now I'm so happy that I've done it. So thank you so much, Crista. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and also thank you that you gave me enough time to do it, because, you know, of my coloring slump. Of course, it wasn't that easy. Yeah, but we did it, and I love this one. So this is my favorite image this month, and now I have only one more to show actually. So, and the last completed page that I managed to do is from Mythographic Magical Earth. Yeah, in this book I had also a video on, on this image I have a video how I started my very first Mythographic image that I completed. My very first Joseph Catimbang image that I have started. And I have to say that I did struggle a little bit with it. I have to admit it, even though I thought this one was one of the easier images. But I have to say I struggled with those magical stones here, didn't know how to shade them. I struggled with the deer, as you can see. It came out very dark. I wanted to have it actually more reddish browns. But I looked up some reference, and on this reference the deer had a grey kind of furry thing just here, and I started with that. And after I had all this grey here, it really didn't look right when the rest was like this brownish color. So I ended up erasing it and just going in with the same pencil. So that didn't work out very well. Then yeah, I struggled with the grass down here. This was, I don't know, for me just too detailed, and I didn't know how to do it. In the end, I just went over it a little bit with acrylic markers or acrylic pens to, yeah, enhance the grass texture a little bit. And I decided to go for blue here because this is a night scene. On the background, I've used ink tints, and oh well, I struggled with the ink tints on this paper somehow. Don't know what I did wrong. However, yeah, it came out very textured, very splotchy, and I wanted to have a smooth kind of background, so I had to went over with pencils, and that took me so long to go over the whole background again with pencils. So here around the magical stones, I've added a little bit of glitter. This is one of those glitter watercolors by Rebecca, the Art Spirits, Fairy Dust, I think it's called. Then I used some of the shiny watercolors, like Cosmic, or Kuritake has some gold watercolors for this pattern here. And a little bit of a glitter gel pen here in the center of those cherry blossoms. That's all that I did for embellishments on this image here. And yeah, I'm happy that my first mythographic image is done. It's not my favorite one, I have to admit it. Not my favorite one. I really enjoyed the cherry blossoms and the tree branches here that I colored. That was so much fun, it's so easy. But the rest, for me, it was not so easy. And somehow, I don't know, you other YouTubers, you always say this is such a good paper, but I really struggled with it. So I don't know if it was just me. I will continue to color in these books, obviously, and then see which pencils work best, or which mediums works best, or in which combination it does work. Maybe it was just because I didn't know how to color it. Maybe that was a problem, and not the medium, and not the paper. Yeah, we will see. I will find out on my next image. By the way, I have started one in here. Yeah, I started this giraffe image here. I followed a tutorial by Sapphire Colors for those clouds here, which I really wanted to try out. Haven't outlined them all with white yet. As you can see here, this part is outlined, this not. It's a lot to outline here. The background done with Neocolor 2, so this does work quite well. I think this one will be much easier. Maybe it was just the page that I struggled with, not the paper. I'm not quite sure. Have to play more in these books and find out. So, however, that's all. So, and that was everything that I have managed to color in the last 3 months. Most of it I had colored in June, or finished in June. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If I have to rate my favorite, I think it will be the Springbringer by Karron, and the Enys Guerrero image here, because of, yeah, I just had so much fun with it. So I think those two might be my favorites. And yeah, let me know which image is your favorite, if you have one. And yeah, I hope I will see you, yeah, in my next video, of course. I have some great plans, I think, for July at least. A bunch of videos that I want to film and bring up. It was a little bit silent in June and most probably in May because of my coloring slump, so I'm sorry for that. But I will be back with some, yeah, stuff for you in July and hopefully also in August. So stay tuned for that. Just yesterday I had a video about how I play with Crayola Super Tips as a watercolor pen. Try it out if you have not seen it yet. It's on the side here. And yeah, that's that. See you in my next one. Happy coloring, everyone, and bye!